Okay, Happy New Year. Anyway, let's face it, right? Live streaming is not only on the rise, but it is here in a big way. And in my opinion, the advantages of live streaming are plenty. Now, firstly, it's a perfect warm-up for playing at actual live events, as you get the pressure of playing live. As like when you play, right, people may hear your mistakes and stuff like that. And in many ways, right, people then feel exposed, but it can also bring you like face to face with fears. And that means like fears of failure, or fears of not getting the views, or fears of no one liking it, or fears of not knowing or like how or even where to start. But it's something you want to do, but it's just like, oh my God, like it's kind of a bit daunting. In many ways, right, live streaming or playing live, in my opinion, right, can be compared a little bit to an ice bath, meaning you can talk yourself out of it very easily before you even attempt it. But once in, yes, at first everyone tells you everything about it, says no, but if you go just a little bit further, kind of like my beat matching analogy, if you're not sure you're close, then once in and you persevere just a little bit, then there's this real aliveness and power that comes from not only exposing yourself to something new, but more importantly, the confidence that then comes from overcoming a challenge. It's liberating. Try the ice baths too, I'm telling you, as well as live streams. But anyway, so now, for my New Year's resolution, okay, now, yeah, I get it, okay. Lots of people think resolutions are nonsense, and pretty much most of them are apparently broken within a few days. And in many ways, I make resolutions to start over, usually health related, every single Monday, or to quote Oscar Wilde, quitting's easy. He's done it 1,000 times, okay? But anyway, okay, in this video, I'm going to share an idea that I've actually had for some time, but now, like the ice bath, I feel it's time to jump in and share what my plans are for 2021. So, besides pushing my own personal boundaries on, I guess what I believe is possible, which is kind of fun, right? This year, I'm going to build a platform for my students to play regular live streaming events with the goal of promoting these events together and building a community and really strengthening the community and culture of the emerging DJ scene. Now, but to be honest, this idea, it's 100% in line with what I spoke about in last week's video, and that is when the ideas hit you, right, and you get really excited about them, that's when you know you have to do it. So these ideas here, right, believe me, they have come, and I am actually holding back right now in a big way. Like, they've hit me like a ton of bricks. And put it this way, right, I'm thinking like themed events, like, even events sorted by genre, open format parties, charity events, and later in the year, even 24-hour or even 48-hour global live streaming, like student showcases, right? Or highlight events, whatever, right? Whilst also at the same time, I'm going to help the students to build their bios, their experience, and give them the opportunity to be part of something that inspires and hopefully lights a fire inside of them. Okay, it's good to have good goals, man. But anyway, but the real beauty of this is it gives students a goal to work towards, and this in turn tightens their skills even further. See, I personally feel it's one thing to do a course, but without some kind of goal to work towards, it's way too easy to lose momentum. And already, right, I'm giving all my students feedback on their mixes. So that's part of it, right? So what's happening is students do the course and then they submit a mix and I give them feedback. But with the rise of live streaming, many now are feeling the itch to step it up a notch. So yes, I'll be honest, okay, it's risky for me speaking like this and sharing a vision of such scope, because like you, and I know this because I feel like we all have so much more in common than you may think. But here's the thing, with ideas, sometimes doubts creep in. For instance, like, what if I can't, or what if I fail? But fuck that, man. Like, I don't listen to those kind of thoughts anymore. Instead, I trust the conception of the idea and the excitement that comes with the idea. And mark my words, not only will I continue to build an epic tribe of DJs in 2021, but once they've graduated, I'm going to do my best to solve their main issues, and that is getting live experience, building confidence, and also building their networks. Now, okay, so sounds big, but anyway, so this means when clubs do finally reopen, you're going to be more than ready. And really, when you think about it, right, when doing live streams, besides technical stuff, which personally, right, I'm going to talk about more about this in a second, but I'm going to make sure that you are ready in this program that I'm currently building, right? But outside of that, people are always worried about numbers. So for instance, no one's watching, and being embarrassed about that. And to quickly name drop another channel that does a lot on live streaming, okay? Cleveland Terry, I think he's kind of cool. He's interesting to watch. So he said something I found really cool actually, and that is, let's say you're playing a live stream and you're like, oh no, there's only 20 people watching. Well, another way at looking at it is that's 20 people that have turned up for you. And let's say you're in a club and you've got 20 of your mates there. Trust me, that's enough to build real atmosphere. And personally, right, I've turned up to clubs, like been inside rooms when I was first starting out and had 5 people, but with those 5 people, it attracts more and more. So, it's not a bad place to start. It all comes down to how you look at it. But this is also where I come in, because if we do it as a tribe and even under the Club Ready banner, then what the goal is, we're all going to support one another even when we're not playing. And that means we can become part of something bigger and really help lift each other up. And I'll be honest, right, that's a major motivation behind this idea. Building the community and culture around DJing and providing a platform where new DJs can get experience in a supportive yet professional environment. Like man, you see, this is the ideas, you got to go with them. So yes, okay, I'll be honest, right, this is going to mean a shit ton more work for me. But at the end of the day, I have to ask, what's it all about? And sure, I admit, right, I do like the business side of things, okay? And I've always been organized and bringing it all together and creating content for you all. But the only way any of this is possible is due to and thanks to students buying my courses, as it gives me the freedom and time to work on projects like this. But for me, it is honestly, like, I love that. Thank you. And like I said, makes it possible, but it is more than that too though. See, I remember when I was running weekly club events, sure, don't get me wrong, okay, the money was great, right? But nothing rivaled the feeling that came with running successful parties, and every week to see the relationships formed at the parties and how much the events meant to the regulars, right? It honestly gave the whole thing such a bigger purpose. And now that I'm personally in a position, I'm older, I've got the experience and stuff where I can now share that knowledge with you, and also now provide a platform for my students to create and share like their personal sound, then man, like honestly, like no, there's no words. I don't actually know how to truly express it, but in short, I guess like I'm really excited for this. It almost feels like I'm, running clubs again, but instead of putting myself in the spotlight, headlining all the events and all that, I'm passing the torch to my students so they too can begin to experience the world of being a DJ and also benefit from the network and community that I'm building, or better yet, that we're building together. And that's what it's all about. By the way, right, this is all your fault, okay? You realize by supporting my last video about positive thinking for 2021, you truly gave me permission to be myself. And I guess that's what I want to give back, okay? So let's be ourselves and share our sound with the world. And why we do it, take as many people with us as we can. And perhaps, right, by the time COVID passes, you're going to have some live streaming events under your belt. You're going to have increased support, and maybe even increased support and awareness even on your social media pages, or even like promo materials that you can add to your bio. And better yet, perhaps you've even built a little community or tribe of your own. Meaning, when you turn up to play in clubs or even parties or events, you're going to be well prepared, man, and you may even have more support than you think. So, by supporting others. But anyway, now many people may jump on board about now and say, why is this only for your students or for people that have graduated from my courses? And please allow me to speak openly and honestly here, okay? I love doing these YouTube videos for you. I really do. I've met so many cool people from you, and I love helping. But as I mentioned, right, these videos are my way of not only providing ideas and hopefully a source of inspiration to many, but also for me, it is about building relationships with you, right? And sure, I get it. Everyone's trying to sell something, and and I'll be honest, right? There's heaps of times, right, where I watch heaps of free stuff on YouTube, without buying their courses, but I don't watch all the free stuff and then expect the perks that come from being a student. There's a bit of truth in that. Okay, so the fact is many people have reached out to me personally, right, saying they already knew how to DJ, yet they bought my course anyway just to support my work because they really appreciated all the free stuff, right? But then they also commented later on saying how much the course actually still exceeded their expectations and still how much they got from it. Whilst many others, right? And I receive emails like this every day, and thank you. It really helps build my own confidence, but saying how the courses transform their skills in such a short period of time and how they felt getting the course and being part of the community is the best decision they've ever made. And this honestly, I guess, is what gives me the confidence and inspires me to do a video like this, thinking, what can I give back? What can I give to those people? Now, none of this is a pitch, okay? I'm just saying that I appreciate you all so much and I want to find ways to help you this year. I really, really do. And I always do my best to answer everyone's questions, whether or not they're a student, okay? But this live streaming vision is huge, and understandably, my first allegiance is to my students. And to put this together, right, this is going to take like a lot of time. And I've already taken action. I've met with someone, right, who's going to help me coordinate these events, which means I'm taking on more staff to help handle the extra load. And this also means I'm investing more resources into the school to further help my students. As deep down for me, right, the greater goal here is to build a really strong tribe and provide a platform where the community and culture around DJing can flourish. And I'm honestly committed to creating as many opportunities for my students as I can. However, just quickly though, let's say you already know how to DJ and you're not already a student of mine, then honestly, what's to stop you from running your own live streaming events? And if you see any of my students, like let's say I'm gonna be putting on these parties and promote them and stuff, right? But let's say you see any of my students playing as part of our Club Ready events or tribe parties, and you think like, wow, man, that DJ's mad. Well, I'll be including every DJ's details along with posters and promo materials for every event we do. So there is nothing to stop you personally from hitting up those DJs personally and asking them to play on your live streams in the future. As for me, that's actually the goal, and that is to open as many doors as I can for my students and do whatever I can to inspire them to get the result. And if you already know how to DJ, and let's say you're watching this, right, perhaps that could be your resolution this year, and that is to create opportunities for other people and to use events, be it like in-person events once COVID passes and that kind of stuff's allowed, or even live streaming events, as using those events as opportunities to connect like-minded people. That's a pretty good motivation in my opinion. So anyway, just being 100% transparent here, and also to take any pressure off the people already lined up to play at some of our first ones. This could take a few months to build momentum, and sure, there may be some hits and misses and even teething issues along the way. Much like when I first started my YouTube channel, like at first, I'm putting in all this effort and it can take some time to actually see results, but I'm certain and better yet committed to making this a big thing in 2021 and beyond. And like I mentioned, and this is staying true here, this is my idea now. Now how I mentioned about getting ideas, this is my idea. I'm really gonna do this. However, all that aside for a minute, this has mainly been about my goals, but the new year really is a good time to set some intentions and think about what you want. And for many, live streaming may sound too far off, and they just basically, maybe their goal is just to practice more. But then again, right, for many, I think having an inspiring vision to work towards may give them the motivation to practice more. And this video, this is undoubtedly for them. So whether or not you're nowhere near it, having that to work towards maybe helps you to actually just practice more in the first place. Anyway, give me a month or two to really nut this out, and once ready, I'm going to announce this in a big way. So just please be patient, hold tight, and if in the meantime you want to refine your skills and get club ready, I'll link in my courses below. And if you are already a student and you already feel club ready, my advice would be to start working on the filming aspect, and that is getting some good shots set up. Now, by the way, right, this new pro streaming package I'm putting together is not only going to have all the info you ever needed to assure that your live streams sound amazing and look professional, but to assure the wow factor, I'm also going to get personally involved, like my team and myself, right? And that means we're going to request that students send us videos or even practice streams in advance so we can give them feedback on how to take their videos to the next level, with the goal of putting together live streaming parties and events, which honestly, like, that I can be proud of, you know, that I'm willing to put my stamp on, you know, that I'm willing to kind of get behind in a big way, with one goal, that we take the world by storm. Now I know I'm being kind of full on. Okay, but anyway, being the first video of 2021, I thought there was no better time than now to share a resolve. And my resolve this year is to give my students as much of myself as I can in 2021 and beyond. So thank you for being part of this. And even if you're not a student, thank you for tuning in. And starting next week, okay, I know I've done a couple of talking ones in a row now. Starting next week, I'll get back into some more hands-on examples for you. And if you're waiting on genre videos, like next in line, I think it's melodic house, and then there's techno, for instance, and there's like some UK garage, you know, that'd be cool. And perhaps people have requested heavier stuff, like me, like taking on some like faster BPMs, you know, hardcore, like in hardstyle, whatever. So, but anyway, but here's the thing, as much as I love doing those, the really big goal for me, right, is to get you to a point where you're doing it on my behalf, okay? But either way, as we move forward, I'm sure we can all agree on one thing. This year, time spent behind the decks and even connecting with music is time well spent, and we should appreciate that. But anyway, thank you so much for making all this possible. Thank you for allowing me to be myself and to talk true to what I've been thinking. And let's make this a really cool year together.